I've been wanting to make a video about Dragon Age for a while. A very long time, actually. Just haven't gotten around to it. But now since this whole the Dread Wolf Rises thing came out, I am psyched. I want this to come out so bad. Like, it's not even funny. Now, I've seen a bunch of those analysis videos, and, not a bunch, just like two. Just two. More like I just want to give my own statement. Just add to the pile of those on the YouTube list. So, here's my thoughts on the whole thing. It's got something to do with the idol, because the first thing we see is the idol. Very cool panoramic shot of the idol. And then we see the elvenly artistic backdrop, the picture that everybody's been posting everywhere, with Solus on one side. I think it's Solus on the left side, because it's a bald elf with fur on him, and it's gotta be Solus. And the Dreadwolf on the other side. But Solus looks like he's extending his hand out, trying to stop the Dreadwolf. It looks like they're trying to fight over the idol. What is the idol's significance to Solus and the Dreadwolf? Now, I'm speaking of them as separate entities or people, is because after seeing this, realizing maybe the Dreadwolf is a demon, probably a very powerful pride demon that has been either A, leeching off of Solus for a very long time, or B, it's just been there and it's just very powerful and ancient and bad. But Solus is strong enough to suppress it. Or it was a thing created of his own pride. I think that's the most likely answer. But, he seems to have a role with the idol. And, it also makes me think, did he have something to do with the idol's creation or Red Lyrium's creation? Probably not. But he had something to do with something about the idol. He, probably. And, the most thing that I'm interested in, actually, is the half circles that are around the idol. There are 7 of them, and there are multiple answers for this. There are 7 archdemons. There are 7 Evanurus, including Mythal and the Dreadwolf. And there are 7 mages that went into the Golden City. So I think it's the archdemons personally, because we killed 5 and there's only 2 left. So I think it's that, and that's my theory. That's my thing. That's probably the strongest one. I think that's most possible. The other thing is it could be the Evanurus, and it could be the only 2 that aren't tainted, because they're all dim and dark, and they 2 are light because they're alive, and they're not behind the veil. And somebody said that they were both the old gods and the Evanurus were both the same thing, because again, there's 7 of them, but 2 of them, because the 2 of them are missing, and that the fact that the old gods are asleep, it can make sense that they could be the Evanurus, because the Evanurus were sealed behind the Fade. But that's a far out there theory, but it's a good one. I like it, but I don't know if that's true or not. The real thing is, let me do this last part quick because my phone just ran out of space. Anyway, the real reason is that this whole thing can actually cause a huge religious downfall. I'm just gonna get to the point here, is that if the elves are realizing that, holy shit, our whole lore has been completely wrong this entire time, and then we have the statement of Corypheus saying, well, we got there was no golden city. It was already black, and there was nobody sitting on whatever throne you're thinking of. And I'm also thinking the Black City could also have been the seat of, like, you know, Mythal, or even maybe the Maker did exist once, but I think the Evaniers kicked him out, killed him, whatever. But, yeah, I just think of the religious outrage that will happen when people realize that Andraste probably wasn't given a gift by the Maker, or the Maker never actually really talked to her. She was just a very powerful mage and just decided to do something about, you know, the Imperium. Obviously, some of the story is probably correct, because considering we get to actually meet the ghosts of the people who were there, but you never actually get to meet Andraste herself. That makes me question, she was probably a mage, or some type of... I say she's a mage. And she's totally banged her tongue. Don't listen to me. But it makes me think that, okay, so the Maker probably never existed, and that the whole Chantry is a big fucking lie. And when people realize that, it's gonna be a huge uproar, and, people are gonna lose faith, obviously, and I don't really know. The Maker could also be banished. Don't know. Maybe he could be an Evanurus. I don't know. I really don't. That's what I think, because I know that this whole thing is a whole religious debacle, and it's gonna fuck up everything. So that's all I wanted to say for Dragon Age and everything related to it. Maybe if I make another video saying what things I actually want in the game and what things I want to see in the game, I'll maybe do that later when I have the time. I don't know when. I'm really tired and loopy after because I just had finals and I wanted to fucking kill myself. So yeah, that's it for my Dragon Age rant. And we're like, it's a big ass rant. I've been wanting to rant it to somebody. I don't have any friends who actually seen Dragon Age. I'm getting one friend sucked into it, but she's not all the way caught up yet, so I can't talk about all this shit to her. So I'm like, but yeah. Well, I will end this here. And if you throw a comment in if you have your own theory, or if I missed something, I could talk about it. I could talk about the Titans, or I could talk about whatever, really. If you want me to actually watch the Dreadwolf trailer and see if you want me to reenact my initial reaction to it, I was at school when I first heard about it, so it was impossible to actually get a recording. So if y'all want me to watch the Dreadwolf Rises video, I will do that if you say so. I don't know. But if you like this video, drop a like. If you think I'm a fucking idiot, just leave. Yeah, this is just something I wanted to say for a while, because I've been sitting here watching all these people do all these awesome theories, and I have my own shit that I know. So, yeah, I'm gonna end it right here. Now I'm gonna end it, so I'll see you guys. Bye!